So, the next instalment, um, we got him back from the hospital, and like I mentioned, he was only on his psychotic medication, and he seemed pretty calm and pretty good. Come back to work, and we got into work. And, he took his medication every day, and go home to mum at night and have a good feed, and nice comfortable bed. And he seemed quite okay for a while, but still had a few voices every now and again, and a few episodes, not every day, but we may have had it every day, the feeling of the illusion of people coming to get him and kill him. It, maybe once a week he would come and sit in the office and tell me about it. I'd ask him how he's feeling. How you feeling, Mick? Oh, not too bad. Oh, they're still coming to get me, and all this stuff. So it was around this time I said to him, well, I kept trying to put in his mind that no one's coming to get you. You haven't done anything. If you'd done what you believe you think you did, these people would have got you years ago when all this started to happen. And just try and convince him that no one was coming to get him. So this went on for another few months, and he seemed to be feeling a lot better in himself, and didn't seem to have too many dramas as far as these episodes. So it was around that time that his brother was down on the coast by the ocean, and he ran into a family there that have a farm. And I said to him, might be good for Mick to go down there. Their sons were around about the same age as my boys, a little bit younger, but wasn't the same age. So my other son said, yeah, okay, Mick, come on, we'll go down. And so they got into this with this family that had a farm, and they used to go down there for weekends and had a great time. Michael really enjoyed it. He'd come back and couldn't wait to get down there the next thing, and it seemed to brighten him right up, like sort of out of the situation or out of the environment he'd been in for so long, and it seemed to really brighten him up. Well, these people were involved with one of the football clubs down there, and when they heard that Michael had been a state footballer, they asked him if he wanted to play. Well, he wasn't that interested at first. That I said, Mike, that'd be really good for you. You're not fit, but if you get fit, well, you could play again, because his brother played football as well, and he was a good player as well, also. So they managed to start training and started playing football, and Michael really enjoyed it. He still wasn't taking any alcohol, or wasn't taking any illicit drugs, just his antipsychotic, and he seemed to be going really well. I used to go down at the weekends and watch him play football, and like I said, he really enjoyed it. But a couple of times there, when we were in the motel room, he would sort of say, he'd always sort of try and make excuses, I'm sore all over, I think I'm getting the flu, or so, so come on, Mick, let's get out there and get training and stuff. So he got out there. Once he was on the track, he really enjoyed himself. Well, he managed to play a season down there, or not quite a full season, because he got injured. He got his cheekbone fractured, so he had to go to hospital to get that fixed up. That was later in the season, but he managed to play all the games he had to play right through the season. And excuse me, he ended up getting leading goal kicker for the association down here. So like I said, he was a good and not even 30% fit. But, you know, give him the ball and he'll kick a goal. So he had a good season. But it was at the end of the season where he got injured, and then the presentation nights were coming up. I went down for the awards night where he got leading goal kicker presented to him. He had a couple of drinks then. I wasn't terribly happy about it. I sort of looked at him and said, you know, the football guys buying him a drink. He had a couple, but that was all. And we went home back to the motel, and I said, it was a good night, Mark, you know, no worries. So anyway, he, I think it was the next weekend after that, the preliminary finals, where he got his cheekbone fractured, and that put him out. But anyway, he went down for the club presentations, and only him and his brother went down. I didn't go down. I couldn't go, I had to work. And apparently his brother rang up and said he got on the sauce, got on the booze. And it wasn't just a couple, it was an all-night session and all day the next day. And part of the Sunday. Well, I was supposed to come back Monday morning, leave early Monday morning, come back for work, and I hadn't heard from them. And then I got a phone call from one of the women that was associated with the football club down there saying, Tom was supposed to pick Michael up, but he hasn't rocked up. I said, well, where's Michael? He said, he's at my place. He's not in a very good way. Well, he'd been on the booze all weekend. And but luckily Tom hadn't left Esperance, so I rang Tom and told him where he was, and he went and picked him up and brought him home. And he come home. He was all right for a couple of days, and then started to have this psychotic episodes again, and gradually got worse and worse. Whether that was the chemicals in the alcohol plus his psychotic medication that triggered this next episode, who knows? But I'm a great believer in that. Chemicals. There's chemicals in everything we touch, and if your body reacts to a certain chemical, well. But anyway, so just gradually got worse and worse. So we had to get him into hospital again. So I think again my wife rang up and said Gus is bringing Michael back up to the hospital, and they were waiting. You know, they couldn't. Beautiful, like I said, they couldn't do enough for us. Even in emergency, they fast tracked us through emergency, straight into hospital, and he was in there again for another couple of weeks, I think. And the same thing, and I mentioned to the psychiatrists that Michael was seeing at the time, you know, maybe the alcohol tipped him over the edge, and they sort of could have, and I said, well, I'm a great believer in what chemicals do to everybody. So we managed to get him straightened out again, and he come back out, and this time they actually give him a caseworker, and he had to see them once a week at a mental health facility, not a ward, but go and see a psychiatrist every week and just let him know how you're getting on. So we started to do that, and Michael seemed not too bad again. No alcohol, no drugs. And still had the voices, but not as severe. I think they upped his medication again. so many milligrams or whatever it was of the psychotic medication. Because a couple of times there Michael said, well, it just doesn't seem to be working. I still hear voices, I still get these feelings of people coming to kill me, and you know. So I'm pretty sure they upped it. He wasn't too bad there for a while, and I would go to his meetings with the psychiatrist in the other mental health facility. The same psychiatrist, they work between the facility and they work in the hospital as well. And we met, I think it was two, maybe this was the third one. One day we went there. And I'll stop this video now and then we'll do part 6. Thanks for watching, people.